This was a live broadcast of death that shocked the entire world. The terrorists picked up their knives one by one and stood behind the hostages. The drone camera moved into position, and the host began the countdown. All the hostages were forced to kneel on the ground, but the host was unhappy because their movements were not in sync, so he made them do it again. Then, the hostages were pressed to the ground, and the terrorists placed their knives against the hostages' necks. At that moment, the drone quickly flew in and aimed at them. As his life neared the end, the pilot saw the kind face of his mother and his pregnant wife. When he woke up again, he realized he had been tied up. It turned out the terrorists had planned a second broadcast, using a plane for a terror attack. The pilot was chosen as the one to carry out the plan. They strapped a bomb to his body and placed a female co-pilot to watch over him. The other hostages were locked in a metal cage and loaded into the cabin. Once all the cameras were ready, the terrorist leader struck a dramatic pose. Looking at the arrogant executioner, the pilot felt a wave of fury. He suddenly started the plane, blowing the leader off his horse. The co-pilot panicked and reached out to stop him, but the plane had already taken off. The pilot set the plane to autopilot and changed the destination to an abandoned airport. The co-pilot grew furious and ordered her team to throw him off the plane. But as they passed the metal cage, the pilot felt something loosen behind his neck. It turned out that the hostages had grabbed the terrorist tightly through the bars. Another terrorist sensed something was wrong and rushed over, but he was one step too late. The pilot then handed out guns to everyone, and with their help, they removed the bomb vest. But when he rushed into the cockpit, he was shot by the co-pilot. By then, the plane had flown far away from the attack target. The co-pilot tried to cancel the autopilot, but she did not know how. Just as she prepared to kill herself out of guilt, the alarm said they had arrived at the abandoned airport, and autopilot shut off. The co-pilot quickly pushed the throttle to continue the mission. Meanwhile, the pilot, enduring intense pain, tried to open the cage, but without a cutting tool, it was impossible. Luckily, he remembered the parachute. He quickly strapped the parachute to the cage and hooked the ripcord to a steel wire. Watching the cage fall and the parachute open, the pilot finally felt relief. When the last group of hostages reached out to bring him with them, he smiled and refused. At that moment, the plane was about to enter the city. The co-pilot aimed at the target. In the final moment, the pilot grabbed the detonator and, without hesitation, blew up the bomb vest. The plane exploded in midair, and right in front of it was a school.